Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Matt from Pinnacle Chiropractic, your local pediatric, family, prenatal chiropractor here in the Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida area. And in today's episode 10 of Pinnacle's Perspective, we're going to talk about why we've been seeing such an uptick in new patients in our office. All right, so let's dive into this 10th episode of our Pinnacle's Perspective, our weekly health cast. And I really wanted to approach this topic because we are seeing such a massive influx of new patients in our office, especially the last couple of weeks. So the last couple of weeks, we've started 17 new patients in our office, and a lot of them just in this last week alone, the last 4 days, we've started a lot of them. Over half of those new patients started in this last week, these last few days here. And so we want to always analyze kind of why we're seeing a big influx of new patients. And so typically, to kind of put that number in perspective, 17 new patients in an entire month is a really good number for our office to have. We have a very high retention rate because a lot of people understand the importance of our care. So a lot of our patients stick with us for a very, very long time. And so we don't take in a ton of new patients because we don't lose a lot of patients along the way. So 17 in 1 month is a really good number for us, but we've been able to achieve that in less than half of the month. And so, like I said, we like to kind of analyze why. And so there's a few things really why I think we're seeing such a big influx of new patients these last couple of weeks. And so I think the biggest thing is that people are starting to prioritize their family's health with the current challenges that we're in with the COVID crisis. I think people are starting to seek out healthcare and more natural healthcare for their children. If we really kind of look at our philosophy versus medicines and the medical doctors' philosophy, medicine and medical doctors, they really kind of study what makes people sick. And so in our office, and really our philosophy is we want to study what makes people healthy. So we want to be able to create a healthy individual, a healthy child, a healthy adult, a healthy pregnant woman. We really want to really increase that overall health and wellness factor instead of looking at, okay, now they're sick, what do we do type of thing. And so I think more and more parents, especially parents and families, are starting to seek out more natural healthcare options for their children and for their families because of the current situation that we're in. A lot of people are under a lot of stress because of the COVID crisis. It could be financial stress, work-related stress, where business is down or their employer's business is down. So their work is kind of in limbo. And then as well, a lot of people are very stressed out about possibly catching coronavirus or COVID. And so we're seeing a lot of people's stress levels at an all-time high level. And so I think a lot of people are starting to understand, really, especially our office and our office's focus, is that we really just want to get the body working the way it was designed to work at its best possible performance. And so really the science behind that, I want to cover a little bit of that science. So we discuss a lot of this science in a lot of our other videos, but I really want to kind of just re-go over that so that we can really solidify that. A lot of people watching our videos, the more and more you hear it, obviously, the more and more repetition that you hear something, the more you understand it and the more you learn it. So we're really going to kind of go over really the two to three main reasons of the science behind our care, why I really think people are seeking out our care for better overall health and wellness. So number one, it really starts with the brain and the nervous system. That is the sole focus in our office. A lot of people associate chiropractic as spine or pain doctors, which, yes, chiropractors can help with that, the more traditional variety. But in our office, we really focus on the intimate relationship between that spine, the spinal cord, the brain, and that nervous system that controls every cell, every tissue, every function of our body. And so that master control system, that brain and nervous system, is our main focus. And so we want to see why isn't it working properly and how can we help get it working the way it was designed to be working. So one of the ways we do that is we, of course, measure that in our office. So we have technology where we can measure that dysfunction within the nervous system and see where the problem areas are at. And that will kind of guide us in our care, in our protocols, essentially. So that's really the main reason why, is because our focus is on that brain, the nervous system, that master control system of everything. The second reason why is because of the immune function benefits of our care. A lot of the people that are under consistent chiropractic care, and when we say consistent, that is kind of a vague definition of consistency. So some people would say they've been under consistent chiropractic care their whole lives, and that could be maybe going whenever they feel like it. So maybe every other month or every few months, essentially. But that's not really consistent chiropractic care to get the full neurological benefits and the benefits of the brain and the nervous system. So when we talk about consistent chiropractic care, it is on a weekly, twice a month basis, essentially. So being at least coming in at least a minimum of once a month, but preferably as close to once a week as possible, as many of our families and patients are. And that is how many times my family gets adjusted, as a minimum of once a week, sometimes even more than that, depending on what's going on in our lives, the stress levels and stuff like that. And so being under that consistent chiropractic care, we see a lot of our patients really don't get sick that often. And when they do get sick, it is going to be very, very short-lived. The body is working the way it's supposed to, so it's able to fight things off relatively quickly. And so it isn't anything that is lingering, and it's not something that is a chronic issue where they're getting sick over and over again. And we see a lot of patients that will seek our care out when their kids are getting sick all the time, where it seems like they're in school or daycare and they get sick over and over and over again. They get over one thing and then they catch the next thing, and they're just constantly going through this vicious cycle of getting sick over and over again. So we'll see a lot of patients seek us out because of those chronic immune challenges, and then being under our consistent, regular chiropractic care, they are able to really, their body is able to function the way it's supposed to. Their brain nervous system is able to function the way it's supposed to, which controls that immune system, which then allows that immune system to function the way it's supposed to. And then they get sick a lot less frequently. They're not having to go to the pediatrician as often, the emergency room as often, and they're able to fight those things off. We've had all kinds of different chronic immune challenge cases of all different types come into our office and had really, really great success. So the second really benefit in the science behind it is better nervous system function is going to result in better immune function, which during this time is very, very crucial, because we want to make sure our immune systems are working at their best possible potential right now, so that if we do catch anything out there, our bodies are going to be able to fight it off as best as possible. And so the third really main benefit to our care, and why I think we're seeing a lot of moms and dads and full families get under our care, is because our care helps us deal with stress better, helps our body deal with stress better. Like I said, right now we're in a very, very stressful time because of, could be financial stress and the COVID fear stress. A lot of people are just super stressed out right now. And so with our care, because we're directly influencing what's called the autonomic nervous system, And to really give you kind of another recap of the autonomic nervous system, it's composed of two different modes. We have our fight or flight mode, which is that stress mode. It's called the sympathetic mode of the nervous system. And then our parasympathetic mode, it's more of that rest, relaxation, growth, immune function, and development mode of the nervous system. And so what we see when we're in that super stressed out state is our nervous system, that autonomic nervous system, shifts into more of that sympathetic fight or flight mode. And so when that happens, our body doesn't work the way it's supposed to. We see a lot of the other systems of our body, including the immune system, not work the way it was designed to. We see people's anxiety levels, our kids' anxiety levels, parents' anxiety levels raise when we're in that fight or flight mode. And our brain just basically, it's kind of like what we refer to as the gas pedal. It's like our brain is just kind of on overdrive. It just keeps racing. Our mind is racing. We can't shut it off. We might have difficulty sleeping at night because it won't shut down. It won't shut off. And so with our care, we're really unwinding a lot of that stress and tension within that spine and within that nervous system that allows that autonomic nervous system to have good balance between that fight or flight sympathetic mode and that parasympathetic rest relaxation mode of the nervous system. A lot of times I like to describe kind of stress as we don't really, we think of kids having stress and adults having stress, but I like to use the analogy as adults to relate to moms and dads, because a lot of the times, especially females and women, because we see a lot of moms in our office, a lot of women carry their stress as tension in their neck and shoulders area, the upper back, lower neck, and shoulder area. And so I always say that when our body isn't processing stress properly, it stores it within our body and within our spine as tension. And so that's how our care, really on a very basic level, helps the function of dealing with stress. As we're releasing a lot of that stress and tension within the spine, it's going to allow us to obviously feel a lot better, but it's also going to affect the way that that brain functions as well. If we have less stress and tension on our spine and on our body, the input to the brain is going to be a lot more normalized. We're not going to have this excessive kind of noisy, stressful input. Our brain's going to be able to calm down a lot more. We're going to have less of that anxiety, less of that stress. Not to say that stress is a good thing, sustained stress. And obviously we want to limit that stress, but right now a lot of this stress we can't control. And so being under our consistent chiropractic care is really going to help your mind, your body function at its best and deal with that stress to its best potential. So that is really kind of the three main benefits and some of the science behind our care, and why I really think so many people right now are seeking out care in our office. It's because of those health benefits, and it's all natural, it's non-invasive, and there's no bad side effects to our care. It's very, very gentle, low force, and we're just seeing so many families really buy into that philosophy of get your body working to its best potential. And we're seeing amazing results like we always have with our care. And especially during this time, this very, very stressful time, we're seeing more families turn to chiropractic care as that natural preventative health measure for their families. And so if you're watching this video, maybe you've been on the fence for a while, and this is starting to make perfect sense to you. Right now, we are, through COVID, still offering a special. So normally in our office, the process to get started is a phone consultation where we find out more information about you, your child, or your family, and what's going on in your lives. And then the second part is that evaluation of the nervous system. And then the third part will go over all the findings and what we recommend time and frequency of care for your family, for your child, or for yourself. And so typically those three visits combined are $250 in our office. Right now, through this COVID crisis, we are offering that at half off, $125. And we don't know when or how long that's going to go for. We're really kind of just basing it on what's going on in the world and in our country right now. And so as soon as kind of this COVID crisis blows over, then we will probably raise that rate back to that $250 price. So in the past, you could only take advantage of that half off, that $125 discounted price for those first 3 visits at one of our workshops. But right now we're offering it to anybody. So if you want to take advantage of that offer, you can visit our website, pinnaclebradenton.com, request an appointment on there, or you can call our office 941-822-8828, and our front desk, Jen or Claire, will be able to answer any questions that you have and set up those appointments for you. So really right now, like I said, because of what we talked about in this video, right now is the best time to seek out care for yourself, your child, or your whole entire family, because you're gonna be able to increase the way the function and the productivity of your body being under our consistent chiropractic care. It's going to increase the immune system. It's going to decrease the overall stress effects on your body, and your overall ability to handle stress will be much better. So hope you guys enjoyed this 10th episode of Pinnacle's Perspective. As always, guys, I'm Dr. Matt, and be well.